With the IVG, you don't need to have egg and sperm. There are cells that can be made to develop into sperm or egg cells so that a woman could produce a sperm cell or a man could produce an egg cell, which means that gay couples could potentially reproduce using only the DNA from that couple. A single person could reproduce using just his or her own DNA. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, once the technology gets to that stage, I mean, we can't do it right now, but it is plausible that we could do it in the future. One of the big questions would be whether we could do it safely. But yes, that's exactly the idea, that you could produce an egg in a female. You could take the egg from one female and then produce a sperm in another female, and then a lesbian couple could have a child that would be genetically related to both of them. I think that kind of use of IVG, if it becomes safe enough to use for reproduction, would be much, much more common than multiplex parenting. And it would offer real benefits for individuals who aren't able to have biologically related children right now, and this would be a technology that would allow them to do that.
And if a single person was to use just his or her own DNA and go through this process and be both father and mother, and and I don't mean genetically, and I don't mean gender-wise,
right,
to the offspring, would the offspring be like a clone? I mean, would they look just like that?
That's the really tricky one, and I think that's actually the most problematic use of this technology. So they wouldn't be a clone because they wouldn't have the exact combination of DNA that the individual, the parent, would have. They might have double versions. Our genes come in pairs, so they might have 2 copies of the parent's maternal genes and 2 copies of the parent's paternal genes in another area. So they would be doubling in some areas, having the same combination in others. It's really hard to figure out what we would call that relationship, and whether it's even really a parent-child relationship, because we think of a parent as being the person who gives you 50% of your DNA. Right. And this person's giving you all of your DNA, but not in the exact same combination of your own DNA. And so that's a sort of strange combination, and actually I think raises risks of recessive diseases in the same way that we don't think people should intermarry. This is like intermarrying, within a family, sort of on steroids.
Exactly.
This is incestuous. Yeah,
incestuous.
So that's, I think,
incest with yourself.